Zeus. High on Mount Olympus sits Zeus, ruler of the gods and lord of the skies. When he was born, his father, Cronus, swallowed each of his children whole, fearing they would overthrow him. But Zeus's mother hid the newborn god in a cave on Crete and gave Cronus a stone wrapped in cloth instead. Raised in secret, Zeus grew strong and clever. Zeus turned to the wise Titaness Metis for help. She made a special potion that would force Cronus to vomit up his swallowed children. Rhea convinced Cronus to let Zeus come back as his cupbearer. One night, Zeus slipped him Metis's potion in his drink, and Cronus gagged up Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia. Together, the freed Olympians rose up to overthrow Cronus, but the Titans, led by Atlas, fought fiercely to keep their power. To break the stalemate, Zeus freed the Cyclopes and the 100-handed Hecatoncheires from Tartarus. The Cyclopes forged thunderbolts for Zeus, and the Hecatoncheires hurled boulders like storms of falling mountains. The Titans fell, defeated, and cast into Tartarus. Atlas was doomed to hold the sky on his shoulders forever. When Zeus's thunder rolled after that, it reminded the world who now ruled both heaven and earth. Hera, Zeus's wife and sister, is queen of the gods and goddess of marriage. She was fierce, proud, and unforgiving when wronged. She hated Zeus's endless affairs and often punished the women he seduced and their children. When Hercules, Zeus's strongest son, was born to a mortal woman, Hera sent 2 snakes to kill the baby in his crib, but Hercules strangled them both with his bare hands. Even when he grew up, Hera made his life full of suffering and impossible trials. Another time she tricked Semele, a mortal lover of Zeus, into asking to see Zeus's true divine form, a sight that burned her to ashes. Yet Hera wasn't always cruel. In a rare moment of compassion, she supported Jason's quest for the Golden Fleece, guiding him and his Argonauts to safely reach the island of Lemnos, where the women welcomed them. Still, those moments were rare. Hera's power shaped destinies, and her fury was something even the gods feared. Poseidon rules the endless seas, the earthquakes, and every crashing wave. When the world was divided by lots among the gods, Poseidon drew the deep ocean as his domain. He could raise storms with a flick of his trident and sink proud cities beneath roaring waves. Once he and Athena both wanted to be the patron of a young city. Poseidon struck a rock and made a saltwater spring, but Athena planted an olive tree instead. The people chose the tree, so the city became Athens, and Poseidon never forgot the insult. When angry, he sent floods and sea monsters to punish kings who defied him. He fathered strange children too, like the winged horse Pegasus, born from Medusa's blood, and the one-eyed Cyclops Polyphemus, who tried to eat Odysseus and his men but was blinded instead. He also cursed the arrogant king Minos by sending a magnificent bull from the sea, which led to the birth of the Minotaur. Beneath every calm sea, Poseidon's temper waits, ready to rise with the storm. Hades, lord of the dead, claimed the underworld as his domain, a dim, silent realm where souls drift in gloom. Not cruel but resolute, he ruled with iron will, seldom leaving his darkened halls. Yet once, stirred by passion, he rose to the bright world and seized Persephone, radiant daughter of Demeter, to be his queen. Demeter's sorrow withered the earth, birthing winter's chill. A pact was forged. Persephone would return to her mother for half the year, and so the seasons turned. In another tale, Orpheus, heartsick for his lost wife Eurydice, descended to plead with Hades. Moved, the god allowed her release, but with a merciless rule. Orpheus must not look back as they climbed to the light. Doubt gripped him, and he turned too soon, dooming her to fade forever into the dark. The depths of the underworld hold a balance, where the virtuous and heroes find Elysium, the wicked face Tartarus, and the ordinary rest in the asphodel meadows, guided by Hades' wise judgment. Demeter, the nurturing goddess of grain, breathes life into barren earth, coaxing abundance from dust. Her love sustains mortals, but her wrath starves the irreverent. Disguised as old woman Doso, she wandered Eleusis, teaching Prince Triptolemus to sow and reap, his dragon-drawn chariot spreading her gift until fields bloomed worldwide. Yet those who neglected her altars saw crops wither, a stark reminder of her power. When brash King Erysichthon felled her sacred grove, striking a bleeding oak, Demeter's curse filled him with insatiable hunger. He devoured his wealth, sold his daughter, and consumed himself, proving defiance invites ruin. In Eleusis, her secret rites and mysteries bound mortals to her, revealing truths of life and death, promising the faithful a blessed afterlife. Demeter's tales resonate through the ages, weaving nurture and judgment, showing that even in loss, renewal rises from the bleakest soil. Hestia is the gentle goddess of the hearth and the home, a quiet force of warmth and stability. Unlike the warring gods, she shuns battles and scandals, her presence felt in the steady glow of family fires rather than grand temples. Yet she was always honored first in every sacrifice. Families prayed to Hestia before meals, and the same flame that warmed their bread also lit the great civic hearth, uniting home and city under her care. In a Delphic tale, Hestia's sacred fire was was said to bless the oracle's tripod, her quiet presence ensuring the purity of Apollo's prophecies and maintaining divine order. When Dionysus sought a place among the Olympians, Hestia willingly gave up her seat to him, preserving harmony over ambition. In another tale, Hestia slumbered during a divine feast when the lustful Priapus crept toward her. However, his intent was interrupted by a donkey's sudden bray, which shattered the night, startling the intruder and preserving the goddess's sacred dignity. Athena, goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, sprang fully armed from Zeus's head after he consumed her mother, Metis, titaness of cunning. Clad in armor, her aegis gleaming, she wielded intellect over brute force. When the hero Jason sought the golden fleece, Athena blessed his quest, guiding the construction of the Argo, his ship, with a speaking beam from Dodona's sacred oak, which offered divine counsel. Her aid shaped heroes' fates. She gave Perseus a mirrored shield to slay Medusa, avoiding her petrifying gaze, and gifted Bellerophon a golden bridle to tame Pegasus for his chimera-slaying quest. When Arachne boasted her weaving outshone Athena's, the goddess wove a flawless tapestry. Enraged by Arachne's arrogance and hubris, she turned her into a spider. Athena's wisdom guided Odysseus's cunning in the Trojan War, ensuring Troy's fall. Her justice, sharp and unyielding, balanced favor with retribution, her presence a beacon of reason in divine and mortal realms. Apollo, god of light, music, and prophecy, sprang radiant from his mother Leto on the barren island of Delos, where she sought refuge from Hera's vengeful wrath. Twin to Artemis, he wielded a golden bow and lyre, his brilliance guiding gods and mortals alike. As a youth, he slew the monstrous serpent Python, which plagued Delphi, claiming the sacred site for his oracle. Her priestesses unveiled cryptic futures to those bearing gifts. His love for Daphne ended in sorrow when she, fleeing his ardor, became a laurel tree, its leaves forever adorning his victories. When the satyr Marsyas boasted that his flute surpassed Apollo's lyre, God challenged him to a contest. Victorious, Apollo's judgment was severe, flaying Marsyas for his hubris, a warning to those who defy divine artistry. Apollo guided Orestes, prince of Mycenae, to avenge his father Agamemnon's murder by killing his mother Clytemnestra and her lover Aegisthus, who had slain Agamemnon to seize power. Pursued by the Furies for his blood guilt, Orestes was purified through Apollo's sacred rites and supported by Apollo's divine advocacy, influencing the trial at Athens' Areopagus, where Athena's deciding vote acquitted him. Athena then transformed the Furies into the Eumenides, breaking his family's cycle of vengeance. Artemis, goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and moon, born under the silver light of the sky, roamed forests and mountains with her devoted nymphs, swift and untamed. When the hunter Actaeon stumbled upon her bathing, her wrath transformed him into a stag, his own hounds tearing him apart as a warning against defiling her privacy, his horrified companions watching in silence as the woods echoed with his final cry. She eased the pains of women in childbirth with her gentle touch. Artemis fiercely guarded her virginity, rejecting marriage to claim freedom above all. When Niobe boasted her children surpassed those of Leto, Artemis and Apollo struck them down with arrows, leaving only mourning in their wake. She showed her wrath again when King Oeneus failed to honor her, sending the Caledonian boar to ravage his land, and setting in motion one of the most famous hunts of the age. She was also said to have asked her father Zeus for eternal youth, and the right to roam wild places forever. Gifts granted in full, her golden bow flashing beneath the moonlight, both fierce and nurturing. Ares, god of war and courage, born of Zeus and Hera, embodied the clash of battle and the raw frenzy of combat. Unlike Athena's measured strategy, his power was the storm of war itself, spears clashing, shields shattering, and cries rising over the battlefield. In Boeotia, a monstrous dragon, born of Ares' divine blood, guarded the springs near Thebes. Guided by Apollo's oracle, Cadmus slew the beast and sow its teeth, birthing the Spartoi, warriors who forged Thebes' strength. Yet for killing his sacred creature, Ares demanded Cadmus serve him for 8 years to restore divine balance. When war raged at Troy, Ares stood with Hector, Phobos, god of fear, and Deimos, god of terror, driving the Achaeans back in dread. Their onslaught shook the field, but Athena struck him down with a stone, and Hera's urging swayed the gods. Wounded, Ares fled to Olympus in pain, leaving Troy to its doom. Though feared by mortals, the war god could not turn fate. The city was fated to fall.